once you hit bottom, then you either stay there or you figure out how to rise up.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 shocking reveals we learned from the Oprah and Viola Netflix special event.
I had a different sort of strength in me that maybe I couldn't see at the time.
That's what you
but
wrote.
Was ever present.
For this list, we're looking at the most unexpected, surprising, and eye-opening facts we learned about this multi-award-winning actress and philanthropist. Will you be reading Viola's autobiography? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. She almost went into teaching. Becoming an actress was Viola Davis's childhood dream. She shared an anecdote about a time when her acting coach laid out all the hardships of the industry, but her aspirations were greater than her fear.
Viola, there is a huge chance that maybe it's not going to land and it's not going to work. But dang on it, it's worth the try.
However, when it came time to choose a major, Davis opted for a path with a stable paycheck, deciding to become a teacher instead. Growing up in poverty was likely a heavy influence on this decision.
And I really needed to pay my bills because I did not want to be on welfare. I wanted to not be what I felt my parents were.
But she missed that creative spark and fell into a depression until her sister urged her to pursue her lifelong dream. With just enough money for one theater school application, she decided to go big.
She auditioned for one of the most prestigious programs, Juilliard, and got in.
Today, Davis is still a major champion of education, stating it saved her life. Number 9. The healing process of acting. The actress detailed the healing power of her profession, saying that it gave her an outlet for emotions she couldn't express in her real life.
The minute I did the first skit when I was 9 years old, I realized it had the ability to heal me.
Masquerading as someone else shielded her from the shame she could face in reality. For Davis, acting is like holding up a mirror to the audience and helping them connect with humanity.
That's what healed me. It was my conduit of being able to take all the trauma, all the spew, everything, and feed it through that vacuum of these characters and give it to you.
One notable example she gives is the empowerment she felt playing Annalise on How to Get Away with Murder. She credits the character with liberating her, as it gave her permission to be all the things she was told she wasn't. She took things a step further by making a deliberate acting decision to help other women connect to the role too.
So let me take the wig off. Let me take the makeup off, because in doing that, what I'm presenting you with is not the character of Annalise, but the woman that is Annalise.
Number 8. The teachers who saved her. As we've already mentioned, education is super important to the actress, as is the value of outstanding teachers.
Teachers were my saviors. Teachers were my saviors.
They were my saviors. Like I said, there's power in love. It's radical.
Outside of the documentary, she's talked about Jeff Kenyon, a teacher who made a huge impact on her by reminding her that she was enough. But during her conversation, she talks about her school's principal, who showed her and her family compassion during a particularly rough time. She would call Viola and her sister into her office so she could give them bags full of clothes, knowing they had none.
She knew I needed clothes, which, by the way, it was like giving me just some jewels.
Understandably, this memory stayed with her, and she recalls how it helped ease some of the shame felt over her circumstances. Great teachers can really change your life.
Because you're seen, and you're seen for something way more valuable than your circumstances.
Number 7. Enduring harassment. As you might know, Davis is a strong supporter of the Me Too movement and has addressed crowds at the Women's March.
I stand in solidarity with all women who raised their hands because I know that it was not easy.
It's only briefly touched upon in the Netflix special, but she reveals her own Me Too experiences. Davis explains how it was treated as totally normal for men to offer money in exchange for certain favors during her childhood. She notes that this kind of behavior didn't even have a name back then, let alone get called out.
No one knows what boundaries are with little girls, especially back in the day. So if a a guy said, give me a kiss, someone said, oh, give him a kiss. It's not a big deal.
It is shocking yet unsurprising to learn just how normalized these behaviors were and how no one was looking out for these young women. Davis now fights to give all women a voice in the fight against harassment.
We're refusing to be silent. Win or lose, no matter what the outcome, we are refusing, to, like they say, silence is for the oppressor.
Number 6, a defining school day's memory. Good or bad, memories from your formative years can shape the person you become.
In the same way that a phoenix rises out of the ashes, right? And I do believe that it's a part of your journey in finding yourself is going to these caves of trauma.
For Viola, that defining memory was having to bolt out of the classroom door as a kid to avoid a group of boys who would torment her. They'd throw things and hurl the most vile language her way, while she never stopped running. The actress says this is the memory that characterized her because of the person it forced her to become.
Inside, absolutely, was the damaged little girl that I left in Central Falls who really, really believed that she was ugly, that she was not enough.
She also shared the adversity her mom and sister endured during their school days because of their race. Both were beaten by their teachers for not being light-skinned enough. As a result, her mom ultimately dropped out of school in 8th grade.
You have the tyranny of colorism, sexism, racism.
Number 5, growing up in poverty. Viola's upbringing in extreme poverty is a thread that runs through much of the conversation.
Many people say, I grew up poor and I didn't know it. You all knew it.
Yep, absolutely. I say we knew we were poor.
Yeah.
There's no, the plaster coming off the walls and always being hungry.
She grew up with her parents and 5 siblings in Central Falls, Rhode Island. They often had no food, barely any furniture or clothes, faulty electricity, and no plumbing or hot water. Their building was subject to several fires and a rat infestation so bad, we'll return to it later.
For me, when I was younger, I thought I was cursed.
At one point, the situation was so dire that Viola and her sister couldn't even go to school. The most heartbreaking part is the shame she felt over circumstances beyond her control, but it helped her appreciate the people who showed her love and empathy even more.
And what those people do, because they love you, and they love all of you, even your flaws, is they give you permission to be able to love yourself.
Number 4, a troubled home life. The actress describes her mother as a maternal warrior and details a complicated relationship with her, quote, strict and violent father.
It cost me something to tell a parent to don't do that. You're going to kill my mom.
Although she calls him, quote, the first man who loved me, his personal demons drove a wedge between them that took many years to resolve. One particular incident she recalls was an especially heated argument between her parents. She remembered how at age 14, she tried to intervene before her dad physically hurt her mom.
And I can't tell you, it's sort of like, I don't know, coming face to face with a giant. Coming face to face with your fear. This is my father.
Naturally, this had a monumental impact on her relationship with her father. But it also drove her to take actions that would help her pursue a starkly different life.
14 was the age that I realized I really wanted out, and I saw a way out. A hole had been blasted through this cave that I was in.
Number 3, finding forgiveness. Interestingly, Davis had no doubt that her father loved her. He went out of his way to make sure she knew it.
Every single day. Even when he would be in the car with me driving and I drove into a parking lot, he would say, boy, that's so good, daughter. You're such a great driver. I love you so much.
But the question still arises. How does one forgive years of trauma? It was a difficult journey, but as she explained, it all began with accepting that she couldn't change the past.
Extension to how much you're willing to accept the life that God gave you, and how much bravery you have to forge ahead and create the life that you actually want.
She goes into more detail in the book, explaining that she chose to receive his love rather than carry around this burden from her childhood. She also says that he changed and would apologize to her mom every day. By the time her dad passed away in 2006, their rift had been healed.
We're all trying to do the best we can with what we've been given. And that's it.
Number 2, living with rats. We briefly mentioned the rat infestation earlier, but it's too shockingly horrific to just mention in passing. Their building was in such disarray that they would cover up while sleeping out of fear of being bitten by rats.
We felt like we had to wrap coats or shirts around our necks at night to keep the rats from biting our necks.
Viola wouldn't even go into her kitchen cabinets, knowing that they would undoubtedly be there. She remembered hearing them eat everything from pigeons to their belongings.
I mean, at night, you had to put your hands over your ears so you couldn't hear them.
There's one unbelievably harrowing story she shares about hearing the rats munching on her doll and then waking up to see its chewed off face. If that sounds bad, then this story her sister Diane shared about rats crawling into cribs will leave you completely aghast.
I want to interrupt and jump on top of me in bed because just the thought of that.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Praying for a husband. You know that saying about if you want something hard enough? Well, that was true for Viola's love life.
And I called up Gail, I go, you need to do what Viola did. You need to get down on your knees. You need to pray and ask her what you want.
After several doozies, her friend urged her to pray for the man she wanted, but warned her to be accurate while putting in her request. Amazingly, a mere 3.5 weeks later, her prayers were answered, down to the very details she asked for.
Ex-football player, been married, raised his children on his own, was an actor, invited me to church. And I thought to myself, whoa.
She and ex-football player and actor Julius Tenen married in 2003. She became stepmom to his 2 kids, and in 2011, they adopted their daughter Genesis. It's such a wonderful ending to this insightful conversation, and we have no doubt that plenty of romantic hopefuls will take inspiration. Talk about your fairy tale love story.
I was shocked, sort of like magic. Yeah.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.